our news media. Our news media still hasn't learned that taking the word of a known liar, rapist, sex offender, thief, maniacal, orange idiot, taking someone like that at his word just because he has the title president behind his name is not news. So when you hear things like this,
3 nuclear sites in Iran yesterday, Trump administration officials are breathing a sigh of relief that the highly classified bombing mission appears to have gone off without a hitch.
just be sure that you're not listening to these people to find out what's actually going on. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And to the fam of Liberty, what's up? Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, is here. Now, I felt it completely inappropriate to put out the Canadian drain that we got coming. I felt it inappropriate to put out a great piece written by Mac that I've been working on before tackling the most important subject in the world right now, the U.S. bombing Iran last night. So that's what I'm going to put out first. It's my decision. Don't blame them. But you got to know the context. What's happening now, what happened then, and the reasons why it happened, plus the context that the news isn't giving you. I got all of that coming really quick. Check this out. This is what happened. Last night, we bombed Iran. America, USA, bombed them without congressional approval, which is illegal, period. Now, upon bombing them, our president came back to us and said it was a major success. The goal was supposedly to destroy 3 nuclear plants and obliterate their plans on using nuclear power, even though we have no proof that they were using that nuclear power to make weapons. They were using it to make energy for their country like we do in our country and many other countries around the world. Also, our intelligence told us that they weren't ready or even close to making a nuclear weapon. More on that at the end of this, because believing our intelligence, which I believe is Tulsi Gabbard, in anything is a wrong-headed thing to do. Our intelligence leader, the person directing the intelligence agencies in America, is owned and a known asset of Russia. So although I also believe that they didn't have a nuclear weapon capability anytime soon, it's not because she said so. There's other reasons for that are much more believable. Do not believe what she's saying. She's speaking for Russia and Iran are allies. That's the context. Many are missing in the news. Now you know that. So number 2, did it work? Well, I'll let this be the explainer of that.
3 key nuclear facilities. Objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity, and Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Completely and totally obliterated. Here is Pete Hegseth saying very similar, and then we have photos that prove otherwise.
Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. Many presidents have dreamed of delivering the final blow to Iran's nuclear program, and none could. Until President Trump. The operation President Trump planned was bold and it was brilliant, showing the world that American deterrence is back.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, Donald Trump tweeted this really weird account. Someone said, what a time to be alive, the President of the United States doing battle damage assessment via sketchy OSINT accounts. I had blocked this particular account some time ago. Yeah. But this account said, Fordo is gone. Well, my friends, Fordo is not gone. According to the New York Times, Iran's Fordo site said to look severely damaged but not destroyed. Initial military assessments of the buried nuclear site contrast with the statement on the strike there made by President Trump. And you literally can see right here that it's still there.
There you have it, people. There you have it. I want to go straight on to the next important thing, which is our news media. Our news media still hasn't learned that taking the word of a known liar, rapist, sex offender, thief, maniacal, orange idiot, taking someone like that at his word just because he has the title president behind his name is not news. So when you hear things like this,
3 nuclear sites in Iran yesterday, Trump administration officials are breathing a sigh of relief that the highly classified bombing mission appears to have gone off without a hitch.
just be sure that you're not listening to these people to find out what's actually going on. You're listening to the mouthpiece of a fascist state. Ground news has very quickly become one of my most prized resources, my go-to even, because I get to find out what stories are not covered by the blind spot feature, which I love. But not just the blind spot feature. Any of the stories that I bring up, I can see what either side is saying about it. I can also see who's paying for those headlines. It tells me who owns the publication, which also lets me know who they're writing it for. Many times, none of that is for us. But understanding the context helps us understand the story. Ground news is absolutely one of, if not the best way to know that you've gotten every side of a story and that there's not enough spin in the world that could have you misinterpret it. Now that that's cleared up, make sure you look at us. Make sure you look at the people like I showed before. I'll make sure that their site is in the comment section. Number 2, what else is happening around the world in the aftermath? Well, the most important thing for us is that Iran has now decided to close the Strait of Hormuz.
A senior Iranian lawmaker now reporting that in what they call a decisive response to U.S. aggression against, again, what they call Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities, the Iranian parliament has voted to close the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz.
This is one of the ways that Iran can strike at the United States and the West as a whole dramatically with immediate effect. The effect this would have, if it's verified, on oil prices will be felt in markets, I would think, starting on Monday.
Why is this important? Well, this is important because now you know that you need to go buy gas now. I would fill your tank now. I would fill a few red cans, maybe more than a few. Because Monday you may see it, but next week you will see it even more, even if they open it back up again, because that's where most of the gas that you buy comes from. Even though we have more than enough here, we sell ours and makes more money that way. And we get it cheaper from over there. So that's how a global market works. That's not what this video is about. I'm here to tell you, go fill your tank up now. Fill up a few red cans now and make sure that they're the appropriate red cans, but made for gas. If you smell something coming out of it, that means it's wrong. It's not the right one. You can't keep those. Even if you keep it outside of the house, it's not the smell that matters. It's the fact that there's smell coming out of it. It's supposed to be airtight. Get a proper official red gas can, get a few of them. They cost a little bit of money, but it's going to be way less than trying to fill your tank up when gas could be $3 more in a week or 2 or 3, $4 more per gallon. That's a lot. Now, I don't have any crystal ball. I'm just telling you how the economy works. Now that it's closed, the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to have to get gas from other places. We're going to have to oil, from other places. It's going to cost more, and that's how supply and demand works. So if I were you, I would do what I just said. And Iran doesn't have to drop a bomb to retaliate, and now you know that. Now you know that. Why it's a bad idea to just indiscriminately attack people. And what's worse is why it's a bad idea to let them know that you're going to do it beforehand and tell people out there you may want to evacuate this place because your president is a 3-year-old and believes that the world stage is a place to gain hurrahs in a dick measuring contest.
The Israeli military, in initial analysis, believes the heavily fortified nuclear site at Fordo has sustained serious damage from the American strike on Sunday, but has not been completely destroyed, according to 2 Israeli officials with knowledge of the matter. The officials also said it appeared Iran had moved equipment, including uranium, from the site. So it could be that what we talked about before, that Iran was saying that they moved the stuff because Donald Trump was stupidly telegraphing what he was going to maybe do.
He's unserious. And the director of our defense, our entire defense, is a drunkard, rapist, sex offender, idiot, who is a 3rd-rate TV host on the Fox News, which has only 3rd-rate TV hosts, and he's worse than them. He was only delegated to the weekends before becoming the Department of Defense head person. All right, now that we know that, That's the most important things that happened around the world as a result of this, as it pertains to America and how it affects us. It's not the most important thing, because maybe the most important thing is that Iran is now throwing bombs at Israel, because duh. You see, you don't bomb somebody and then say, by the way, if you try to bomb us back, then you started it. That's not how time works. It's called retaliation. If anybody ever tells you that the Israelis who are for this or somehow actually believe that it's because, Iran was making bombs and it was an imminent threat, I want you to meet two people, Raven Star and Big Snake. While watching the live feed and trying to assess what I'm going to be talking about today, these people came on and said, and just basically laughed at the comment that somebody left saying that this was unprovoked. Unprovoked? Ha 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 ha. That's Big Snake, what she said. And my response to her was, excuse me, what was the provocation? Why is that funny? You believe that there was provocation. What was it? I want you to watch how this goes and tell me what you learned from it. Raven Stars jumps in. I'm talking to Big Snake. They were told this would happen if continue to make nukes. I said, well, wait a minute. Raven Stars, you say continued making nukes, yet they have none. Continued, that implies that they were at some point and continuing. They have none. Here I type. Israel said that they would have nukes in 2 weeks. That was 10 years ago. Then they said 2 years, and that was 8 years ago. Raven Stars answers before I could finish my tirade. They were trying to get them, and they had to be stopped. So I continue on. Then they said in months, maybe weeks. That was 6 years ago. Then they said within weeks. That was 3 years ago. Then they said 2 weeks again. And that was this time. After seeing all of that, Raven Stars says here, we have our reasons for not wanting them to have nukes. That wasn't the question. Are you getting something here, YouTube? You feeling that MAGA-ish vibe? Dismiss everything that contradicts my worldview? That's not what we're talking about. We're saying that they don't have them. They haven't for 10 years. And for 10 years, your leader has been telling you that they do, that they're 2 weeks around the corner. The only reason why you'd believe it 10 years later is because you want to, is the point. Big Snake says they had fully functional nuclear reactors and were very close to being able to make nuclear-armed warheads. That's the main reason this is happening. Iran is not a friend to the free. These people that we're talking to, if they're actually Israelis, and this is their response to me telling them, your leaders have been telling you this for 10 years, and the fact that you still believe it's around the corner makes you a conspiracy theorist, makes you a QAnon believer. This makes you the type of person who believes still that the snake oil is going to work. You're a fool. You're duped. You're a mark. I just said, wow. Both of you actually listened to what I said about being lied to your face for 10 years about them almost having nukes. That at least I know you heard. You see that none of what I said was a lie, and still nothing. And I continue on, you still convince yourself that somehow it was okay. This is so sad to see. We aren't saying it isn't sad. We're just explaining why this happened. You're deciding to be emotional about it. And that was her response. So I said, I can imagine what it feels like to read someone remind you of every time you were lied to and have to convince yourself otherwise to be able to sleep anyway. And Big Snake lets the cat out of the bag in case you had any wonders, YouTube, that maybe they believe what they're saying, that maybe they were scared. Maybe they just didn't hear what I said. Maybe they didn't read the type. They're answering other people. This is when she outs the bag. Name one leader that hasn't lied to their people. And that's the response. That's the response. The truth is, you knew you were being lied to, and your excuse for accepting it is, oh well, all leaders lie. As long as we could bomb the Muslims, it's all right with me. This is your answer. And never forget, YouTube, when they tell you that condoning preemptive strikes against countries that have done nothing yet is okay. And if you don't believe it, you're an anti-Semite. When they tell you that, remember this conversation. When you ask enough questions, it'll end up being, look, I don't care that this a lie. I know it's a lie. So I just said this. Wait a minute. First, Big Snake says, every leader lies. LMAO. Laughing my ass off. Do you think politicians become powerful by doing honest? Man, you have much to learn about the world. When you can't answer the question, what was the provocation? It inevitably descends into, well, everybody lies, bomb them anyway. And that's the answer. That's the answer. That's the answer, YouTube. Do not accept anything else. Oh, it's sad. Oh, Iran is being attacked without provocation, etc. What do you want me to say, YouTube? What do you want me to say? Look at it yourself. I said, what emotions are you talking about? And her response was, oh, it's sad. Oh, Iran is being attacked without provocation. You call being upset about attacking someone without provocation an unnecessary emotion. Fuck them. Bomb them anyway. Is your actual feeling. It's here. Black and white. My last response, as it only can be, is, so you admit there was no provocation. You used the lie to pretend that there was until I called you out on it and then said, oh, well, stop being emotional. Who cares if there was provocation? And thank you for that, Raven Stars and Big Snake, because you told me everything that I need to know now. And I'm sharing this with you, so you know everything you need to know about whatever lies come out in the coming days, weeks, and months about reasons for going to war and sending our kids to die. Don't be too emotional about it. It's just a few more Muslims dead. And who cares about that? Don't be so emotional. We're just saying whatever we have to say to make it palatable. But none of us actually believe it. You don't know? Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.